Hey boys and girls, I'm going to go ahead and help you with your assignment for Social Studies Lesson 4.07. You're going to start by going into your Social Studies course. You're going to scroll down to Module 4, and we are looking at Lesson 4.07, Different Perspectives. So you'll click on the blank page icon to take you to the lesson. You'll click on the lesson itself, it'll open it up. And this is a 12-page lesson, and it actually walks you through your assignment. So you might want to have the assignment printed off before you start the lesson. So you've got your intro page here. Make sure you read through that. And then these are the directions of how you're going to complete your assignment. So it says, put on your detective gear, historians. Today you are going to do some investigating. First, look through all the photographs in the lesson. You will choose one photograph to investigate. You will step into the shoes of one person in the picture. Pick someone that you find interesting. So again, this page right here, page 2, walks you through your assignment. The first thing it wants you to do is to look through all of the photographs in the lesson. So let's go do that. You've got photo 1, and you can click here to learn more about Dr. Arthur. Photo 2, there are many links here that you can click on to learn more about this photo, more about women in World War I, more about nurses in World War I, more about the volunteers in World War I, and more about the prisoners in World War I. Photo 3, and you can click this link to learn more about the Belgian refugees in World War I. Photo 4, you can click this link right here to learn more information about women in World War I. This link here, you can learn more about the nurses in World War I. Photo 5, here you can click the link and learn more about the donut girls in World War I. And notice a lot of the pictures have captions below to help kind of guide your thinking and to let you know what's happening in the photos. Photo 6, you can click here to learn more about the Liberty Bonds in World War I. Photo 7, you can click here to learn more about the African Americans in World War I. And then it says to then click Enter Exhibition when you do click on that link. So there are 7 photos. So I'm going to go back because the first step of the assignment, as it says here, is to look through all the photos in the lesson and to choose one photograph to investigate. You'll step into the shoes of one person in the picture and pick someone that you find interesting. So after you've gone through and looked at each of the pictures, you're going to choose one of those photographs. Whichever photograph you choose, you're then going to go to the second step. With step 2, you're going to closely examine the caption under the photograph. You're going to use any information you find to research one of the people in your photo. You will examine the war from that person's perspective. Make sure you use reliable sources. Some are already included for you, but you may need to use more research. So, as I said, once you have chosen your photograph, you're going to then go to that photograph and you're going to closely examine that picture. You're going to read the caption. You're going to click on those links that go along with the picture, and you're going to read about the people in that picture. And you're going to examine what the war was like based on that person's perspective. You may use outside resources as well to help guide your thinking. Then the third step is to print and follow the directions and answer the questions on your assignment sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and open the assignment sheet, and I'm going to pretend that I'm a 5th grade student, and I'm going to kind of walk you through this assignment. Lesson directions. Choose a photo from the lesson to complete the photo analysis. So I'm going to go back here to my lesson. I'm going to click through, and I'm going to find a picture that I think is interesting and that I want to know more about. So I'm just clicking through and kind of looking at the pictures again. So I really want to know what's going on here in photo 4. Personally, this is what I'm going to do, but you are welcome to choose any photo. So I'm going to use this photo. I'm going to read the caption. I'm going to examine this photo closely, looking at all 4 parts, all 4 corners and the center. I'm going to click on these links and I'm going to read more information about women in World War I and more information about nurses in World War I. I'm going to click on these links and I'm going to read through the material. So you're going to have to do some extra reading with this lesson. So I would put what was my number? Number 4. So I choose photo number 4. Observe, examine the photograph. Note everything you can about the photo. Is there a studio name? How many people are in the photo? What are the people doing? What objects are in the photo? Is this photo a portrait? Meaning, is it a drawing? What is in the background? What expressions are in the photo? Is there any text that gives you clues, such as where the photo was taken? Look closely and record all the people, objects, activities, and other noteworthy details from the photograph. So in this space right here, I would be looking at my picture and I would be writing down anything that I observe. And it has these guiding questions to help you. So I would look at these questions, and as I'm looking at the picture, I would be thinking about these questions and writing down my observations based on what these questions are asking. Then you're going to go to your hypothesize or your hypothesis. Why do you think this photo was taken? Who was the intended audience? What was happening in the image? What was happening around the person at that place and time? Based on your previous observations, what do you hypothesize about this photo? So again, you're looking at your photo, you're looking at what observations you've made, and you're going to make a hypothesis about the photo by answering those questions. Why do you think the photo was taken? Who is the intended audience? Meaning, who is mainly going to look at that photo? What was happening in the image? What was happening around the person at that place and time? So you're going to answer those questions here. Now you get to your question piece. What questions does this photo raise? What are you curious to explore further about? Who, what, where, when, why, and how? So what questions do you have about this photo? You investigate. Research answers to your questions, and it gives you some websites to use. Ancestry K-12, Fold 3, newspapers.com, and any other relevant websites or books or publications. So the questions that you have here, you're going to do some extra research and find the answers to those questions based on the photograph. Then your last piece is the creation piece. Imagine you are an individual pictured in the photograph. Research that person to try to find the name of a relation, like a parent, sibling, or spouse, to whom this person may have written. If you cannot find a related person, you can just simply use your imagination. Make up a family member that you're going to write a letter to. You may not be able to identify the exact person in the photo, and that's okay. You might not. And in my photo, I have lots of people. I would just choose one. I don't know who is in this picture. So I might not know, but I could make it up, right? That's totally fine. What's important here is the rest of this part of the creation piece. So it says, for example, you may not be able to identify the name of a nurse in your photo. However, you would just imagine yourself as a Red Cross nurse in World War I. Think about someone you would write to. Well, if I was a Red Cross nurse in World War I might write to my parents or a sibling. Write a letter, and so this is the important part. Write a letter describing what you are experiencing. Basing your letter on the details of the photographs and the related research that you've done. So I would look at my picture. I would choose one of these nurses and I would write a letter from her perspective, pretending that I'm her. And I would write a letter to, let's say, a family member, let's say my mom. And in that letter, I would be describing, what am I experiencing in this picture? What am I experiencing in this picture and in World War I? And you're going to write your letter here. I put Dear Mom, I put the date, and I'd write my letter of what I'm experiencing and what World War I was like for me based on the research, the questions, the observations that I had at the beginning of this lesson. And then I'd end it with my made up name. Okay? So this is quite a long assignment. You're going to need to take your time. You're going to need to really think about this assignment and really look into these questions carefully or into these pictures carefully. Okay? When you're done, you'll go back to Buzz. You'll go to your next activity tab. You're going to scroll all the way down to the submission box. You'll have a blue plus button where you will attach your work. Let me know if you have any questions.